welcome to our Landry Award preview special as we count down to the presentation of the Landry Award for the 2020 season coming up on January 30th. I'm Bill Jones, and tonight we take a look back at the players and the moments of the high school football season that made us take notice. You know, for a decade now, CBS 11 has joined with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes to honor the best of high school football players from North Texas with the presentation of the Landry Award. The honor is bestowed upon the DFW area high school football player whose talents on the field are enhanced by his character and leadership off the field. The tradition dates back to 2010, when the award was presented to Aledo running back Jonathan Gray. Over the years, the award has been presented to running backs 4 times, quarterbacks 3 times, 2 wide receivers, and a defensive lineman. Here's a look at the list of winners over the years. Last year it was Jackson Smith and Jigba from Rockwall High School. The year before, T.J. McDaniel of South Lake Carroll, John Stephen Jones of Highland Park, Kennedy Brooks of Mansfield High, Jet Duffy from Mansfield Lake Ridge, Kyler Murray from Allen, Miles Garrett from Arlington Martin, Jake Oliver of Dallas Jesuit, and Jonathan Gray 2 times from Aledo. Let's take a look back at last year's Landry Award announcement. Landry Award for the 2019 season recognizes Jackson Smith and Jigba of Rockwall High School for his outstanding performance and sportsmanship.
My emotion was, just thankful to God. It's an amazing honor. So many great players have won this award, have been here, nominated, and it's an amazing feeling just being up here, being here with these great 4 players and just having my name called.
And now let's welcome in Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboys.com, who has been the play-by-play voice of Frisco ISD football and much more on the NFHS network this season. Kyle, the list of past winners reads like a who's who, including last year's winner, who will be playing for Ohio State in the national championship game on Monday night.
Yeah, Bill, and of course back out here at the Ford Center at the Star, and Jackson Smith and Jigba had his moments here in Frisco, along with various moments at AT&T Stadium and throughout the state of Texas. I mean, this is an individual who will be playing for a national championship, has already made some splash plays in his first season as a freshman with Ohio State, and he also accompanies the sportsmanship and the outstanding athletes sort of thing with whenever it comes to the Landry Award. And so Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's somebody that's missed around the DFW parts, but you're going to be watching them on television for quite some time.
Yeah, and talk about guys that have that we are watching on television at the highest level, and that would be past winners like Kyler Murray, now starring for the Arizona Cardinals, of course, who went on to win a Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma, and then also Miles Garrett, who happens to be the highest paid defensive player in the National Football League now.
Yeah, whenever it comes to Kyler Murray, I mean, the fact that he goes on, he's a #1 overall pick, a Heisman Trophy winner, and really kind of a trailblazer at the quarterback position, that kind of shows you just kind of the impact that the Landry Award could have. Miles Garrett on the other side, a defensive player winning the award. So overall, there you look down the list, and even players who hadn't actually won the award but were finalists or on the watch list, it's the who's who, and it's players that you're going to look at as NFL draftees and college stars around the nation.
It's fun looking back at that video of Kyler Murray when he won the Landry Award not that many years ago. You know, tonight we will take a look at players across North Texas who have had outstanding seasons and memorable moments. How about running back Cash Jones of Brock High School, who ran wild this season, including a 300-yard rushing effort in a victory over Boyd. The win secured a playoff spot for Brock. On the year, Jones rushed for 2,387 yards and 32 touchdowns, but he's quick to credit his teammates for his success.
He does what he does. He's Cash, and, man, he makes plays, and he'll be the first one to tell you, it starts up front.
I mean, I say it every time I line. My fullback, right half, quarterback there, everybody's just a huge part of the community, just hearing them. And just whenever we get going, you can't stop us.
It takes a team to achieve what he does, but he's a special kid with special talent.
Here's some more special kids with special talents. And how about Ollie Gordon out of Euless Trinity High School? Other running back candidates include Damian Martinez from Louisville, Owen Allen, a sophomore from South Lake Carroll, DQ James of Lancaster, and Max Holler from Pilot Point with nearly 1,300 yards rushing this year for them. Kyle, which one of those running backs stands out for you?
Well, they all certainly stand out, but I have to go with one of the late risers when it comes to the Landry Award, and that's Ollie Gordon out of Trinity. You talk about a tough, strong runner, somebody that just does not go down. 6'1", 210 pounds, and really just kind of a bowling ball sort of player. You look at his performance against Allen in the playoffs, 49 carries, 455 yards, and 6 touchdowns. A historic performance to help take down Terry Gamble's Eagles. That was certainly one of the best performances I've ever seen from a tailback, especially whenever it comes to the postseason, but somebody who wasn't necessarily on those recruiting boards early, but he sure did show up late and made an impact for those Trinity Trojans.
And you know in the coming year that he's going to be recruited heavily. You know, he followed up that performance against Allen with another 200 yards rushing against South Lake Carroll last week in the state quarterfinals, and also had a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. I'll throw in, you know, the South Lake Carroll, you talk about the quarterback Quinn Ewers, but that running back Owen Allen that's on the list, only a sophomore and putting up huge numbers this season, as you see on the board there, with nearly 2,000 yards rushing as they played in the state semifinals against Duncanville today with 24 touchdowns on the season. You know, the first year we had the Landry Award, the award went to a junior, Jonathan Gray, and of course Jonathan Gray won it 2 consecutive years, and so it can go to an underclassman. So we shall see once the award ceremony occurs on January 30th. All right, we're just getting started here tonight. We continue to feature the best of the best from the 2020 high school football season. Still ahead, we focus on the quarterbacks and receivers who caught our attention as our countdown to the Landry Award continues on CBS 11.
CBS 11 News is sponsored by Clay Cooley Auto Group. Come see our family.
Denton Ryan High School wrapped up another undefeated regular season in impressive fashion, and that included a one-handed catch by Raiders receiver Jatavion Sanders for a touchdown. It's a catch that Sanders has made many times in practice, and he promised his teammates that he would do it in a game. The future Texas Longhorn Sanders made good on the vow by snatching the ball out of the air with one hand.
I had made a promise to my quarterback and my teammates, my other receivers. I told them that I was not leaving this game without one-hand catch, and I stood on that. So when Coach called the play, the tap to me, I made it happen. But yes, man, I do that all the time in practice. It's just easy with these man hands, yeah, you know. It just comes easy. I do it all the time in practice, so it's just first-hand nature.
That catch doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. The one in practice doesn't surprise me because he does it all the time. Special player, great play at a big time, and that's what great players do, to make big plays at key times.
And here it is again, one of those key moments in Denton Ryan's quarterfinal showdown against Highland Park. Sanders duplicates the effort with a one-handed catch for a touchdown in the first quarter of the Raiders' win in that game. Welcome back to our first of 3 week previews of the Landry Award, which will be presented 4 weeks from now here on CBS 11. We're profiling some of the top candidates tonight, you know, from birth to Pop Warner and through Allen High School. Bryson and Blaine Green have always been side by side, and it's going to continue into college now. The twin brothers, who are standout receivers for the Allen Eagles, have signed letters of intent to play college football at Oklahoma State. They never thought about attending different colleges. The Greens said that they are a package deal, and the brothers will stay side by side the moment they step onto the Oklahoma State campus in Stillwater.
At first means I got a dorm room buddy that automatically, so me and him share a dorm. But other than that, it just means I get to push myself even more. I mean, means a lot of hard work has paid off. I'm just thankful for God first and foremost. Like Blaine said, it's a lot of hard work that's paid off through the process. I want to thank God for everything he's given us and these opportunities just to go to college for free, and then especially go to a school that we want to go to. Just having someone that's been there since the start, since the jump, being best friends, built in right from the start, and then we also get to share the experiences with each other. I always have a battle buddy and someone that always has my back during the process. So I always have someone to push me make sure if I'm not doing something right, he's going to call me out on it. We get to push each other to be better, always compete against each other, so we push each other to the highest level.
Hey, maybe the Green brothers can be a package deal and win the not just the Heist, but win the Landry Award together. All right, some other receivers. Jay Fair, Rockwall Heath, 74 catches on the season. Isaiah Stevens of Louisville with 66 catches. Reid Westerfeld from Lovejoy with 86 catches. And how about Jatavion Sanders of Denton Ryan? He had 55 catches this year. And Billy Bowman Jr., his teammate at Denton Ryan, with 68 catches. Kyle Yeomans rejoins us now from the Star in Frisco, where he called high school games throughout this season. Kyle, we had two wide receivers who were finalists last year. Marvin Mims of Frisco Lone Star, who had a stellar freshman year at Oklahoma, and Rockwall's Jackson Smith and Jigba, who won the award last year, now playing for national finalist Ohio State. Who sticks out on this list?
Well, all five of these guys are certainly good enough to be on the list and have had fantastic seasons and careers for the most part. But one guy that stuck out to me this year is Lovejoy's Reid Westerfeld. This is an individual that, at least going into the season, was relatively unknown despite having a really good junior campaign. He comes out this year and goes for 30 touchdowns along the way, and I got to see him play a couple of times in that 5A division. And this is an individual that was dominant no matter who was on the other side of the football, found a way to find the end zone. He's not the most physically talented of all those wide receivers, but ultimately he's somebody that sticks out to me because it seemed like every drive down the field he was finding six and making a grab.
You know, one of the guys who may be the most physically talented of those wide receivers, Jatavion Sanders, but his teammate, Billy Bowman, who was also committed to the University of Texas and then flipped to Oklahoma, he put up some huge numbers, and you can only imagine what a nightmare those two are for defensive coordinators who go up against Denton Ryan. All right, let's switch our attention to quarterbacks now. Preston Stone led Parish Episcopal to back-to-back TAPS Division I state championships and broke a record in the process. Stone passed for over 3,300 yards this season, his third straight year of throwing for over 3,000 yards in a season, and in doing so, he became the top passer in DFW high school history. Stone's 13,207 career passing yards eclipses the record held by Graham Harrell at Ennis. According to Stone's coach at Parish Episcopal, it was a superhero-like effort.
It's like having Superman on your team. You know, things will be going along, and then he'll come out at just the right time from that phone booth in his costume and come to the rescue.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of nonsense. That's a superhero. I don't know what Coach Noakoff is talking about, but yeah, the biggest thing for me on Friday nights is just to do my job.
So having a guy like him, you know, come to the rescue when we need him and play the way he's been playing is incredibly fortunate. Makes you a better coach.
And how about some other notable quarterbacks from the area? Braden Locke from Rockwall, Garrett Nutsmeyer from Flower Mound Marcus, Seth Hennigan out of Denton Ryan, Braden Shager from Highland Park, and C.J. Rogers from Class 4A state champion Argyle. Kyle, how about these quarterbacks? Garrett Nutsmeyer, the son of Cowboys quarterbacks coach Doug Nutsmeyer, had a terrific regular season before his season ended prematurely due to an injury.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Garrett because he was a front runner in my mind whenever it came to the Landry Award, and somebody that I thought might have had a very realistic shot to get in and win it, and I think he still has an opportunity to do that, but he would have loved to have those playoff games along the way and was unable to play in that first-round matchup against Prosper, a game in which his Marcus Marauders really needed a Garrett Nutsmeyer type of effort. But some of these other quarterbacks on the list you can't go past as well. I mean, Seth Hennigan with Denton Ryan, I mean, this is a guy with another huge playoff run and just on the verge of back-to-back championship games. And then you've also turned around and you've also got Braden Shager, who comes in and replaces a quarterback lineage at Highland Park following Landry Award winner John Stephen Jones and following Chandler Morris, who made his way to Oklahoma and then back to TCU via the transfer a couple days ago. But I think overall Shager filled in and kept that Highland Park quarterback mentality. He lost 4 teeth in that game in the playoffs against Denton Ryan, stayed in the game, finished it. They ended up losing to Denton Ryan and the Raiders, but ultimately that's the kind of heart and spirit that embodies the Landry Award.
Well, it really does, you know, and Braden Shager was committed and still is committed to the University of Hawaii, but has not signed with Hawaii yet. He is waiting until the second letter of intent day to make his final decision. But some great candidates at the quarterback position, and those are just 5 that we mentioned there. We could list another 5 who are just as worthy. It's a great year for quarterbacks, and every year seems to be a great year for quarterbacks in North Texas. All right, we've talked about the glamour positions. Coming up, we talk about the guys in the trenches. We turn our focus to the offensive line, and we get a little defensive as our countdown to the Landry Award presentation continues on CBS 11. It was another strong season for perennial power Euless Trinity High School. The Trojans made it to the state quarterfinals this season. You might say Trinity proved to be double trouble for their opponents in 2020. The size of the Trojans' offensive line is always a sight to see. And as Desmond Purnell reports, opponents were seeing double all year long.
The offensive line at Euless Trinity has all the traits needed to win. Good chemistry, size, and physicality. But the Trojans' O-line has something most others don't.
And we've seen a lot of unique things here at Trinity over the years, but we have 2 sets of twins.
You know, nobody really sees 2 pairs of twins. You know, probably the only team that has 2 pairs of twins on the O-line.
And here's another unique trait. The twins all speak Tongan, so when they're communicating during games, the opposing defense can't understand what they're saying. But this group is so unified, they don't have to say a word to get their message across.
Whenever we get angry, we just look at each other and we already know just to dominate the person across from us.
We can closely relate to each other, being twins and all, so we kind of understand what each one of us go through.
Now, the family dynamic at Euless Trinity does not end with 2 sets of twins. The quarterback that they all block for is Jacob and Jared's older brother, Valentino Phony.
We go home with him, and we don't want to let our brother get hit. We just want to protect them at all costs.
Just the fact that they are my brothers, that gives me, you know, that push, that little extra push, that motivation. And as long with the other twins, you know, I take them in as my brothers too.
With the Trojans football team, it's a brotherhood within a brotherhood. In Euless, I'm Desmond Purnell, CBS 11 Sports.
All right, Kyle Yeomans rejoins us now to talk about the big guys in that offensive line. Topping the list, Kyle, has to be Tommy Brockermeyer from Fort Worth All Saints Episcopal.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is the top offensive lineman in the area, and I would even argue that he's one of the top offensive linemen in the state of Texas and maybe in the South. If you're going to go play for Nick Saban's program, you better be NFL caliber, and that's exactly what Brockermeyer brings to the table. If you turn on the film, this is an individual that is a man amongst boys, and that's a genuine saying. That's a cliche saying, but it's a true saying when you talk about Tommy Brockermeyer, the way that he manhandles his opponents. He's able to keep his quarterback upright, block in the run game as well. He is an all-around talent. Nick Saban's certainly going to be happy to have him.
You know, and speaking of brothers on the offensive line, Tommy's brother, James Brockermeyer, one of the top centers in the nation. He's headed to Alabama as well. And pretty good bloodlines there as well. Blake Brockermeyer, their dad, who's an assistant coach at Fort Worth All Saints. Of course, he starred for the Texas Longhorns and also played in the National Football League. All right, how about on the defensive side of the football? A few of the top candidates here. From DeSoto, Shamar Turner, one of the best defensive linemen in the country, headed to Texas A&M. Arlington Martin linebacker Maurice Blackwell headed to the University of Texas. North Forney, Roderick Brown, the Air Force pledge, known as Pocket Aaron Donald, has been dominant for North Forney. Frisco wide receiver and DB Chase Lowry, the Arkansas pledge, has done it all for offense, defense, and special teams. And Kennedale DB J.D. Coffey, the Texas pledge, has been starting since he was a freshman and is once again playing a huge role for Kennedale. Kyle, DFW, known for defensive playmakers from past Landry Award winner Myles Garrett, Devon Miller, Solomon Thomas, Jamal Adams. The list goes on and on. How about these guys?
Well, if you want to comp for Myles Garrett, Shamar Turner's your guy at DeSoto. I mean, 6'4", 282 pounds. This is a guy that is as good as they come. And hey, he's going to Texas A&M, so he's going to be wearing the maroon and white as well. DeSoto is one of the best defenses in the country, in the state, year in and year out, and he's a big reason why they continued that tradition as well. If you go down the list, you look at guys like Chase Lowry. Is he even allowed to be on the defensive list? He did everything for Frisco High. I mean, this is a guy that even since he was a freshman at Frisco was making an impact and turning things around for the Raccoons. He played wide receiver, was a punt returner, was a kicker even for a little bit. And then, of course, he's going to Arkansas as a defensive back. And then I really like what J.D. Coffey brings to the table, continuing that tradition from Kennedale High School of really good defensive players. You look in the national championship game coming up this week, Baron Browning, the linebacker, somebody who's probably going to go in the first or second round of the NFL draft. He's from Kennedale, and Coffey is just like that, a Texas commit that's going to be a really good get for the Longhorns.
And how about that for a precedent here? Maybe Coffey can be a Landry Award finalist just like Baron Browning was just a couple of years ago from Kennedale, as you mentioned, now starring for Ohio State on Monday night in the national championship game. Kyle, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week. And we wrap up this Landry Award preview coming up next with a look ahead to how you can play a part in deciding who this year's winner will be.
CBS 11 News is sponsored by Clay Cooley Auto Group. Come see our family.
Here's our schedule of Landry Award specials this month here on CBS 11. Next week, we'll unveil the 5 finalists for the Landry Award and tell you how you can vote for this year's winner. 2 weeks from tonight, we introduce you to the 6 finalists for the Coach of the Year Award. And we cap off the month on Saturday, January 30th, when we broadcast the Landry Award presentation right here on CBS 11. It's a big week of high school football coming up as the 5A and 6A state championship games will be played at AT&T Stadium in Arlington next weekend. Our thanks to Kyle Yeomans for joining us tonight. For all of us at CBS 11 Sports, thanks for watching. Have a great night.